Okay, okay. A very blessed and a pleasant good evening to all of you. Okay. A very blessed and a pleasant. Share the live as you now come in. Share the live. Share the live. This is the GMS Live Voice of Democracy welcomes you in again. I must apologize. We experienced a power outage and we waited until for that to be resolved. It was I believe it was a transformer that went bad, and the Guyana Power and Light, the Guyana Power and Light had to come and fix that. So we are now having certain things resolved, and we're back on the show. So share the live as you now come in, share the live. As I was made to understand, there are a lot of people who are now getting the notification from Facebook that the GMS Live Voice of Democracy is on. And I'm happy to know that you're getting that live streaming from Facebook. Yes, yes, yes. I will come on as soon as I get that time. And now that I'm on, I want to have a simple conversation, a simple discussion, with you, the members of the general public, Guyanese, locally home here and abroad. So I want to say good night to you from Guyana to the Caribbean and around the world. Let's get started. To those who are joining me via the radio, a very pleasant good evening to you here on the GMS Live Radio Guyana. And good evening to you. Good evening to you all. Share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. And whilst you are sharing that particular live, there is something that it is a pressing matter to me. And a pressing matter to me, and then I want to expound upon it. And to you who now joining in, yes, I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't stop. I'm an alpha male. I refuse to be reduced to anything, nothing less than who I am. And I refuse to be oppressed. I refuse to be a slave. And I refuse to have people racially trying to, or trying racially very hard to address me and to maybe one or less trying to find some tactic. You understand? Okay. The word today, the word tonight is take a stand. And why are we taking that stand? Why are we having this conversation now on what that stand is about? Taking that stand. And I'm going to highlight a few issues that are really affecting us as a community of people. And I'm going to make sure that that discussion continues not only tonight, but other nights so we can be able to have a good idea of what is going on. Now, there are those who are in this country that follows the People's Progressive Terrorist Party that practices dirty religion. I want to say again, since I don't want people to misinterpret me, there are those. Everybody's entitled to follow whatever political party, whatever politicians they want to follow, and uh, and have them being role models for them. Everybody has that right. It is your free right. But there are those that you have to take a stand, Guyanese, especially the black Guyanese. We have to take those stand to those who practice dirty religion. Why do I say that dirty religion? We can look at Christianity, we could look at Hinduism, we could look at the Muslim community, or all these faith or religions that you want to call them. We could look at any one out of these religions, but there are those, they know who I'm talking about, are talking to, that practice dirty religion. So we're going to have a discussion on it and we'll be able to discourse on it. If you want, you can call in and we can have a live telephone conversation. I don't mind. But we must be able to have this discussion because it really, really concerns us. When you see a religion, when you use a religion for imperialistic desire, it is practicing dirty religion. I'm going to repeat myself and I'm going to break it down into syllables what my conversation is about tonight because we must take a stand. When you use a religion for imperialistic desires, you are practicing dirty religion. There is a common trend now that is going on around the country where people who lives within the Hindu community and knows that their family or some one of their offsprings are a member or a government official in this de facto regime, they not only use their religion as imperialistic, but they tell themselves that they are, how should I put it over? They are privileged among us. And we're going to use one of them that is so in the social media. The young lawyer who spat upon the security officer, who happens to be a black woman, who happens to be working in the Ghana police force, who happens to be the security at the residence where he's living because his father, you know, let me divulge a bit on it. There are those who tells themselves, no, who tells themselves that being a Hindu is privilege above the black community and the black Christians. There are those who tells themselves that. There are those who tells themselves that because they happen to be Indo-Guyanese, that they are privileged above the Afro-Guyanese. So there's no practice now that they can do what they want thing. That I can do what I want with you. You have no choice. You cannot choose. And because there is examples from the de facto regime that took away the constitution from us and is doing what they feel like, that now becomes a common practice. Take a stand, Guyanese. Listen to what I'm saying now because I'm highlighting the facts. It is a fact. You can't run away from it. You cannot run away from it. I'm going to show you one of them. Can you imagine? Can you imagine there was a protest against the rice millers from the rice farmers who were giving them $60,000 per ton per paddy? That protest ensued. It attracted the attention of the de facto president and de facto vice president, along with the de facto attorneys general. Went up and above and beyond. Promised these people $5,000 extra that is going to be paid to them for the 1 ton per paddy from 60 to $65,000. It attracted three stooges. And they went up above and beyond. They make sure that those cries of the people were heard of. I wonder what happened to the cries of the Guyanese who are jobless, who, when this de facto administration came in, sent them home because they worked under the David Granger government. Mm-hmm. I wonder what happened to those people. I wonder what happened to those people who joined the protests when those two lads were killed, those three lads were killed. The Black Lives Matter. I wonder why didn't it attract the attention of the three stooges? Mm. Food for thought. Food for thought. But let's get back to the discussion. There are those who are practicing dirty religion by allowing the blatant racism to continue by turning a blind eye. Let me show you, for instance. Now, I can't say Mr. Now the rat is in region 2, talking about creating temporal jobs for the unemployed. Hmm. Didn't they talk about 800 jobs, 800 temporary jobs to be employed? Didn't the Ghana Waterworks Incorporated hired at least 1,000 more extra employees during the David Granger time so they can create jobs for people? And they mostly was black people, and they were sent off. Now they're filling back those positions that they claim had no authority to take on more because the ministry cannot afford, or the Ghana Waterworks Incorporated cannot afford to pay those extra staffs. Hmm. Hmm. Didn't the Ministry of Communities created an office, was the Community Development Committee, where they had people working throughout Guyana in the fields, had an extra 300 jobs in that department. Didn't they send home all of those people? Hmm. Now they're finding jobs for them. They're finding jobs for those, not the same people, but the positions that was created under the David Granger government so that people can have a sound paying job and have an economic way of life. hmm I'm now seeing what's going on. Didn't the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of Public Service, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Protection didn't had extra staffs, and they sent those people home? Roughly, when you combine all of them together, it's roughly 3,000 Guyanese that were sent home. 95% plus of them are black. Wasn't they sent home? Hmm. Food for thought. Food for thought. Not a religious body came out and condemned the de facto regime for their actions. Not a religious body. Blatant racism, as wide as the eye may see, as you open your eye, you see it, it was in front of you. Blatant racism. It was a violation to human rights and dignity and civil rights to take away the economic prosperity from a human being and not to provide one for him as a government. Never, never, not a religious body came out. The Ghana councils of churches, the Hindu Dharmic Sabha, the Islamic community, not one person condemned the government for such, the de facto regime for such an action. Hmm. Food for thought. And there it is, because I am saying that these religious bodies are now practicing dirty religion. Somebody's annoyed. Somebody's some deranged person realizes, tells themselves, "Oh, Gavin Matthews is some racist tonight." No, sir. I am talking about the actions that were committed upon a nation of black people. I am taking a stand. I am taking a stand for black love. I'm taking a stand against racism. I'm taking a stand against violation of human rights by a de facto regime on Guyanese. I am taking a stand, a violation of our civil rights, of our constitutional rights. I am taking that stand and I'm speaking out because not a person got up and said anything. Okay, I am critical of certain aspects of Hinduism, the practice. And why I say Hinduism? Because it is the majority of the East Asian community. And not one of them, of all the temples, not one of them came out and condemned the government's action. Because majority of the ongoers that goes to that particular religious organizations are supporters of the PPP. I don't have a problem. But when you sit down and see the government continues to practice racism, systematic racism and enslavement of a people, and says nothing about it, and it's continually to happen, it tells me plain that you're practicing dirty religion. Because these religious bodies are not there to subdue the evil, it is there to practice and portray truth and righteousness. All of them. But when you claim to be practicing truth and righteousness and you say nothing of the racist actions against another ethnic group by a political party that you support, one tends to wonder. One tends to wonder. I'm on a serious note tonight, but I'm not only calling out the Hindu community, I'm calling out all the religious bodies that were sitting down there and said nothing. So I am poking my hands in your eyes and saying that you practice dirty religion. I am taking a stand. Quote, that because I am critical of the certain aspects of that community of people, because they control of the black community by their money and otherwise take away their freedom. Why do I say so? Check majority of the owned businesses in the private sector. It's predominantly controlled by the Hindu and the Islamic community, right? Because they have power, which is money. We can't say anything. We can't do anything. And they use that power and money to control our freedom. Yes, food to digest. I am breaking it up into syllables because this is what I sit down and see when a lot of us are not focused. This is what I sit down and I see with my plain eyes. This is what is going on in front of me. That these people are controlling our way of lives by their wealth, their money. Hold on, I think I'm getting a call. A very pleasant good evening to you. Thank you very much for calling the GMS Live Voice of Democracy.
Oh, I'm calling live. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, as soon as I finish, I'll call you. I'll give you a call, right? Yes, it's showing right now in front of me. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yes. Good. Good. No problem. Now, they're practicing dirty religion because they're hiding under the religious aspects of their actions. And the imams and the swamis and all of these people and the pastors are not saying anything. They're afraid because they cannot be supported from them. So they're using their monies and their wealth to manipulate the process of the system. So we can be oppressed by the same manipulation. I'm going to show you an example. A black man turns up at a particular workplace for a job. He's first asked if he has a Facebook account. And he secondly asks what party does he support. And thirdly, if he passes those aspects, he's been given a job where he's being underpaid because he cannot go anywhere else to have a job that is going to be fully responsible for himself and the growth of his family. He has to work extremely hard. Now has to do two, three jobs to get by because there is a pay level and a pay system that is set for someone like me. There is a constant practice of what you call a dirty religion by the business community, Guyanese, the local business community. And they're doing this because they want to take away the black economics. So we have no power base. But now I'm going to awaken the black economics within us. Just now I'm coming around to that. They are creating an image of the black man and the historia of him. What is the image? The image that the only job that you can get is to put on a uniform and hold a big gun in your hand, stand up by a door and guard it. That's the only image. And if there's another image, the only other image is that you are a criminal. You're a criminal outside of a job and you're a criminal inside of the job. Because anything happens in the workplace that you work that may be deemed a criminal activity, the first person who they look at. Why we gotta find the black man in the room? Because he's the one. He's the only one. They're creating an image for you. The only way that you could respond to them is by if I give you a few bucks more. And if I please your appetite with a few girls or more. And if I can please your appetite, be giving you a few bucks more to maintain that kind of an attitude and then go and party with that kind of an attitude. So there's nothing that you can sit and teach your children because you were never home. You cannot learn. And then you're stagnant. So I control you. You're never home, so you cannot know what your family is and what they're about. You cannot know the growth of them. Y'all get my point? And when you get the few dollars more, I'm presenting the girls to you so you never pay attention not only to your wife but your children. Then I can give you a few dollars more, and when you get it, I can bring a singer to the country, a big time boy, somebody like Bojo or Galaxy or some one of them that can arouse your appetite for entertainment. You go on and spend all the money instead of staying home and look at your family. All the money you spent running behind an entertainer who's just there to take your money away. And they're heavily invested in that particular area of business, of economics. They are heavily invested in that particular area and economics. And you know what? To make it more better, they create a station like 94.1. So you can always be entertained. I can always keep you up to date with the entertainment. There's nothing much you can learn because you are just there for me to entertain you. Even if Gavin Matthews talks about me, the mere things that I'm bringing the kind of music you want to listen to. I'm bringing the kind of music that can arouse your spirit so you can dance your life away. This that I'm talking about, it is creating an image for the black man. So when the others on the other side, who's practicing dirty religion, could turn around and say, well, don't blame me. Look, you got 94.1 with his listen to, with his entertain, all of them. But some of us fail to realize that 94.1 is predominantly owned by the vice president. He owns a larger share of 94.1 hits and jams. A lot of us don't know that. And no matter how much I come in the air and I talk about it, it went through this years, passed through this one. Because Gavin Matthews ain't gonna forgive me. I prefer money over education. At least I can live nice with the money. So I would like someone to show me that if they can put those same dollars, those same papers with those inks and dollar signs and how much in a pot and see how it will come out if they could eat it. How much would it benefit them? Nothing. They won't get anything from it. Let the conversation continue. The truth covers the sorry, the truth uncovers the lie. That's what Gavin Matthews talks about. They cannot control the black power. We're going to come to black economics now. And I'm serious about what I'm talking about. I'm serious about what I'm talking about. I'll show you one, for instance. Choose any ghetto or choose any area that predominantly African Guyanese that are living there, as we call ourselves, or black people. Let us use Aubrey Barker Road for one instance. That's the road that takes you down to South and North Rumvelt. Let me show you how powerful is black economics. On that one road has 5 supermarkets. 5. 4 Chinese. No, sorry. 3 Chinese. One is Andrews and one is Johnny P. 5 supermarkets on one road. Let me tell you this. The Chinese don't go into places where they can't make money. Nobody does. You walk into those supermarkets and all the shelves are filled. It takes money to replenish those shelves. One road has five supermarkets, and you're telling me that black business is not sorry, are you trying to tell me that there's no black economics in the black culture? There's no economics. It is, but we don't want to spend the money among ourselves. We prefer give it to the others. So they're there to take our money. We can show you the next black economics. We're using South Rumvelt again. Kaikan Street has four churches, not churches fried chicken, Christian churches. Kaikan Street has four churches. To build a structure, you have to have money. In order for you to get the money, you have to get it through donations. How is it progressing? Can you tell me? Four Christian church on one street. Oh my gosh. Believe you me. Believe you me. And you're trying to tell me we don't have an economy? The black economy is one of the largest economy in the world. We consume more and we wear more. We're in the fashion more. We take pride in ourselves in everything. So we spend money on it. We're going to use James Street, Albistown. James Street, Albistown has about six food shops. Six food shops that sell food. And it has about eight liquor stores. James Street, Albistown. And they're opened every day. It takes money to run a business. It's not please, yes, and thank you. Six food shops and about eight liquor stores. And they're functioning quite well. And the community of Albistown is what services the penitence market. Because if there wasn't a community of Albistown, the penitence market would have been shut down by now. In the community of Albistown, the community of Albistown services the penitence market. And these are ghetto areas. And you're trying to tell me money is not storing within that community? Black economics. Because 90% of the people who lives in these areas, they're dark like me, some of them darker than me. We ain't even gone into Charlestown yet. We ain't even gone into Queenstown, Albertown. We ain't gone into them areas yet at all, you know. We ain't gone into them areas yet. Albertown, Albertown, Albert Street, Albertown. One long street. It has 10 shops, 3 hangout bars, 6 restaurants that functions every day. It's a heavily populated black area. There we go. Fort Shaw and Ornock Streets has Rio nightclub. And just around the corner on Church Street, Church and Albert Street, there's Sleeping Hotel, where it's predominantly attended to by a majority of black Guyanese. And you're saying there's no economic power? I'm saying to you, let us take a stand. It is time we be treated fairly and evenly among all the races in this country. It is time we have our privileges too. Because when we stand up and we say no more, Bart got to come with this skipping rope and skip Chinese for me. And I'm serious. Because we could only be serious when these things must be addressed. It has to. I know what is the hurtful part of it. It is that they're creating a culture for you and I, which they themselves do not want to be a part of. The Chinese can eat the food they sell us in the restaurant. They're not going to eat the same things in the supermarket that they sell us in the supermarket because it's heavily laden with sugar. This is what I'm talking about. Black economics is what business community needs. So we have to take it back. I know this is a very touchy topic, but you know what? It's the fact. We are being marginalized. We are being spat upon. We have been enduring a racist system. We have been murdered in the streets. We have been terrorized as a people. And we continue to be enslaved by a system that is supported by the PPTP, the People's Progressive Terrorist Party, that has no end in sight. Imagine that. And I'm serious. Imagine there's no end in sight. So I want to say to you, those who had the time to sit down and to pay attention to this show and to make sure that what I'm saying is registered, I want to thank you very much. I want to thank you very much for making sure that you had the time to sit down and understand where I'm coming from. I am not a racist. I can't even be a racist. I don't even have the resources to be racist. Me ain't got money like some of them. I ain't got not a cent. I can't get a job. I can't get a contract. I'm a political prisoner. And because I'm black, I have full racism acted out upon me by many members of the Guyanese community and religious organizations. But I don't mind. I black till I black and I like it like that because I'm in love with myself. When I stand up with power and with a representation. I'm not afraid of no man and no system. They are beneath me, and that's where they shall be. But I'm saying to you now, let's curb this nonsense that is taking place in our country where there's an increased agenda to pursue a racist economic and systematic oppression against a people that is now being implemented non-stop. Man, you can't even believe it when you see it. But I want to say this: if we don't love ourselves, there's no black love. Because if you don't love yourself and you treat yourself bad, people are going to treat you bad. They're going to enslave you, and they're going to act out racist upon you, and they're going to make sure that you believe and you be in that gutter for all the days of your life. They're going to spend money for you to be there because they don't want people like you to rise up. It's a continuous practice by this terrorist government, and they want to go there and preach it among their supporters. And everybody laughing at us. By look, Bart, come and give me some money. Yes, and they ain't getting none of them black ones. Them are fools. Yes, they're right. They are totally right. They are given the impression and the power of that is what it is. But take our black dollar away, starve them of it, and see what they have next tomorrow. Then they will understand one people, one nation with one destiny of six races shall have privileges like one to the other. Simple. We got to get rid of this thing. It's sickening. Now they're practicing dirty religion. Take a stand, Guyanese. I want to thank those for who spend their time to enjoy my show, and please leave me a like or send some information to me. Text me, let me know how I'm sound, how is it that you're being educated and if it's the right thing. I don't mind who you be. I don't mind which ethnic group you're from. I'm here to talk to everybody. But one thing I'm not encouraging is racism against my people from any other ethnic group. I ain't encouraging it. Wrong person. So when you call me, instead of being the problem, let's bring a solution to the problem. Don't call me for tell me problems. I don't have ears to hear craziness. All right? Thank you very much. Stay safe. Be careful. Black love to you all. Please don't forget, call the number at the bottom of your screen, 592-611-6575, to place your orders and to make other reservations from the two companies that are normally supportive to the Gavin Matthews show on this live and also the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. Don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews saying good night and Cheerios for now.